Hey guys, welcome to a new What If on the channel. This is gonna be actually a remake of an original series on my channel called What If Naruto Had Used the Flying Raijin or Flying Thunder God Jutsu, whatever you want to call it. Um, let's begin. So we're gonna start when Naruto's about 6 years old. Um, so he's just walking around the village, and as usual, the kids are isolating him. So he takes a walk to the third Hokage's office, and he asks him, "Do you know who my parents were?" Because he was just curious and kind of sad that everybody had parents except him. The third Hokage, knowing that he couldn't reveal his father's identity, said they were great people and they were very kind. The village loved them, and but when the third Hokage said but, Naruto's face lit up a bit. He said, "Your father did leave you this," and he handed him one of Minato's marked kunai. And Naruto looked at it, and a tear came down his cheek, and he hugged the third Hokage and told him thank you. He took the kunai to his apartment to study the markings on it, figure out what it did. But he didn't even care that he couldn't understand it. He was just happy to have something of his parents, you know? It's like you've never known these people, and now all of a sudden he's just standing there with his dad's kunai. So of course he checks it out. So he decides that he's gonna go to the library the next day and study the markings. He asks the librarian for a book on seal markings, and she tells him there's one in the back. He goes, he checks out the book, and he grabs a decoder book, and he tries to decode the markings on the kunai, but it doesn't work. So he keeps trying with a bunch of books, and by the time the day flies by, as he's walking out of the library with the kunai in his back pocket, Sakura runs into him, and she's like, "Ha! What are you doing in the library? Trying to burn the books, light the books on fire?" And Naruto's just like, "None of your business." And Sakura immediately got a little confused. Usually he'd try to hit on her or maybe make a snarky comeback, but he just kind of slumped away. So, feeling a little bit of guilt for the way she acted towards Naruto, and feeling like a good person for the first time in her life, she decided that she was going to ask Naruto what's wrong. She asked him, and Naruto looked at her and he told her everything. He told her about the marker, he told her how he couldn't decipher it, and he told her that it's all he has left of his dad. And Sakura tells him, "You'll get it someday," and walks off. As she's walking off, Hinata approaches Naruto, and she tries to and as she tries to speak to him, Naruto asks, "Hi, Hinata." Just says hi, and she just goes full red. But before she can faint like usual, she notices the kunai next to Naruto, and she, gaining all of her composure she asked him, "Naruto, what's that kunai?" And Naruto explained to her the whole thing with it being his dad's, and the third Hokage gave it to him yesterday. And she kind of smiled a little and she said, maybe I could help you decipher it. And so she looked at it very closely, actually kind of using her Byakugan to really focus on the markings. But she could only manage to decipher one word, which was flash. Right? And she told him about the one word flash, and he was like, "Thank you, Hinata," and he hugged her. And the act of him hugging her, she turned full beet red and passed out. He was like, Hinata, what's going on?" And she's like, "Nothing," before she passed out. So he carried her to the Hyuga compound, and he went back to his apartment. And that was Naruto's life for the next 6 years. Every day, him and Hinata would go to the library together whenever they had free time from their training and try to decipher the kunai. Until the Naruto's last chance for the exam. You see, Naruto had been focusing so deeply on deciphering the kunai that he neglected his studies, and now this is his last chance to pass the academy. So the night before the exam, he put down the kunai and he focused. And he tried and tried, but he just couldn't gather enough chakra concisely to create a shadow clone. And that's when the guy from the first episode, I don't know his name and I don't care, from the first episode came to his apartment and says, "Hey kid, I got a proposition for you. You get me a scroll from the Hokage's office and I'll tell you a little bit more about that kunai you've been studying for the past couple of years." Naruto, obviously wanting to have this little piece of his family, agreed to it. So he broke into Hiruzen's office, stole the multi-shadow clone jutsu scroll, and gave it to him. He told him, and on upholding his end of the deal, he told him, "That kunai, well, since it's your dying wish, I might as well tell you. That kunai was used by the legendary fourth Hokage, and it was a teleportation technique that he had used. He would throw his kunais there and use the markings on it to teleport to said kunai. He had multiple all over the world, and he said some of his teammates carried them just in case they needed his help. But now that you know that, goodbye." He cracked his fist and went for a punch. But what he didn't know was, on the way of bringing it to him, Naruto had bothered to study the jutsu a little. So he made 5 shadow clones. And those shadow clones made shadow clones. And then those shadow clones made shadow clones. Until eventually it's just a shit ton of shadow clones. And they all are pissed off. And he just shit himself. Naruto jumps out and punches him over and over. And they just start gang beating this guy like he's in a circle. And everybody turns, Naruto punch, Naruto kick. And he's just getting his ass kicked. And then the original just kind of sat in a tree watching him get beat up. They all decided to take the scroll back to Hiruzen, and he took it back to him and explained that he had stolen it for the guy to learn more about his father and that he was sorry. Hiruzen told him that what he did was wrong, but he understood. He understood Naruto's need and want for the connection with his father, and he couldn't get angry at the child, for he was but a child, unaware of what the world really meant. So he gets off with a warning, and he takes the kunai back to his apartment. He throws it into the wall as he frowns. I don't care. He looks at the headband that Hiruzen had given him after hearing about how he made so many shadow clones. I don't deserve this, and he threw it on his bed. I don't deserve anything. As he prepared to just throw the kunai out the window and hope some homeless ninja could take it and maybe use it to kill somebody, he didn't care. He accidentally released some chakra from his hand because he was so angry that he lost a little control, and he pushed some chakra into the kunai, and that's when it reacted. The seal marker glowed, and he could sense another kunai. He teleported to it, not on purpose, but just because of the jutsu's properties. He teleported, and he ended up bursting out of someone's very large backpack, and he stood in front of a man, dressed like a hermit, long white hair, and a headband. He asked him, "How the hell did you do that?" And then Naruto answered back without answering Jiraiya, "Where am I?" Jiraiya looked at him. "Listen, kid, you answer me first. You just burst out of my backpack for no reason." And Naruto said, "I didn't burst out of your backpack for no reason. My dad's kunai, it brought me here." And Jiraiya's eyes went wide. "Your dad's kunai?" And then he reached through the rubble and he picked up the kunai that looked exactly like Naruto's. "Is this it, kid?" And Jiraiya looked at him, and then he engulfed Naruto in a big hug. Naruto was still confused, but he didn't know. Naruto reciprocated the hug with Jiraiya, but he didn't know what to believe about this man. He asked him seriously, "Who are you?" And Jiraiya looked at him and he responded, "I'm your father's teacher. My name's Jiraiya, but you probably already know that. You've probably already heard of the great Jiraiya." Naruto blinks and he's like, "Nope." Then Jiraiya's like, "The legendary Sannin?" And he's like, "Nope." And he's like, "Okay, the fourth Hokage's mentor?" And then Naruto's like, nope." And then Jiraiya's like, Are you kidding me? The Leaf Village hasn't talked about me one bit." Whatever. The name's Jiraiya, and I was your dad's teacher. So listen, kid, I'm gonna teach you too. So Naruto was freaking out. He just got an offer from his dad's mentor to train him, and of course he accepted. So Jiraiya told him, "Okay, first things first. I'm taking you back to the village, and I'll stay there for a little while to teach you the basics. And third, I'm gonna teach you how to control that kunai. Got it, kid?" "I got it." The two of them just sit by the campfire and wait out the rest of the night. Anyway, guys, that's it. So, pretty interesting what if, huh? What's gonna happen to Naruto? How is there? How is he gonna learn the Flying Thunder God technique? What's going on with Jiraiya? How come the third Hokage didn't tell him anything? Find out in the second part to What If Naruto Used the Flying Raijin, the remake. Bye, guys.